Welcome back to the show, everybody. Look at some of these headlines here. We're going to talk about the XRP investment contracts, expert discovery deadline, Slack messages, in-camera review. And by the way, mainstream media is going to be dropping a piece on what's going on with ETHgate. And we got a lot to look at that as well. Somebody roll that beautiful intro. Oh, and how about that XRP price action? Roll that beautiful intro.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove, and everything that we're talking about here today. $2.868 trillion market cap. That's a new all-time high for us, ladies and gentlemen. Come on in, crypto life. That's what I'm talking about. We're up 3.89%. Bitcoin right now is $65,950 plus dollars. Ethereum, $4,700 plus. Yeah, and I hold these. I want to see all things do well. I want to see all boats rise. But in order for that to happen, we as XRP holders need a level playing field, and we're going to look at that today. We cannot let off the gas, ladies and gentlemen. We are so close to where we need to be for us as holders. Solana is at $243.76, and we see Cardano over $2 at $2.05 right now. XRP is at $126. We're up 6.15% on the 24-hour and 15.15% on the 7-day. Ladies and gentlemen, the numbers are brought to you by link2.com. We can talk about today, but we need to think about where we're going in the future. And where I'm going is not Lambos and popping tops. Where I'm going is thinking about transformation for the rest of my life and my family's life. And in order to do that, one of the things I'm doing, not financial advice, is investing in private equity. And you can get Ripple stock right here. I personally feel that Ripple is on the dip in the private equity market. Again, not financial advice, but my personal perspective is that the SEC case is holding and suppressing the price of Ripple private equity stock down. And once this thing is over, and it will be over, and you'll even hear today from the Hogan legal team when it could possibly be over, I believe that things are going to go nuts, whether it's Ripple or XRP. And truthfully, because this case represents the whole entire crypto space, maybe the whole crypto market even will get another burst. So that's just my optimism on the space, not financial advice. Let's look at the range of XRP price right now. It's 126, 118.71 on the low side, and 129.40 on the high side. Let's go ahead and get into the news this morning. We see right here, XRP time to fly. I was very excited last night when I saw it hit 127, and even more excited to get up this morning and see it holding at 126. We will hear from technical analyst Dark Defender before we get out of here today on support and resistance. So make sure we check that out. Okay, take a look at this. Another piece that's out here. Shout out to Real XRP Boy for this one here. And really, this is a problem. And I want you to hear the inconsistency in the lack of leadership from Gary Gensler from what he believed before taking that SEC chair position. Listen to this quick clip.
Arcane test, this 4-point test is
buffering. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. This is the way it goes some days. Here it is.
Change. Could Congress change something? Yes.
Here we go.
Arcane test, this 4-point test has been up to the Supreme Court numerous times since, and it is basically U.S. law. Could it be changed? Could Congress change something? Yes. But this is U.S. law. And so for those of you that want to get up, walk out, throw me out of the room, just think through. Is the investment for something of value? Did somebody give you Bitcoin? Did somebody give you Ether when you're selling your token? Do you have a common enterprise? I probably made some news earlier this week saying I think Ether itself, or the Ethereum Foundation in 2014, passed this test. But that's in essence because they took Bitcoin for Ether. There was a common enterprise. I'm talking 2014, the Ethereum Foundation.
Now listen to the clarity and understanding this man has there before becoming the SEC chair. In congressional hearings, since he's had the chair position, he doesn't want to speak to any one coin. And his thoughts are his own and don't represent the view of the SEC itself. Well, then why is he getting a check from them? Why is he even there? You know, the lack of backbone and the lack of integrity in this man is starting to rise to the surface above all good I ever thought he could do. And I tell you this because I did believe at a time that he could do very good for this space. And maybe in some respects he still can, but I tell you, I'm losing the confidence for this guy to lead in the manner that he appeared to be leading with the clarity he showed us all back in the day when he was saying these things. Now listen to this. Check this out. This is when he was testifying in front of Maryland state government officials, and this is Eleanor Terrett. Gensler said, Ethereum, I believe there's a strong legal case it was a security. I'm not going to play this clip because it says essentially the same exact thing again. And really, you know, this is just mainstream media, Eleanor Terrett, Fox Business News, Charles Gasparino as well. They understand it. And I responded to this and said, because she responded in a comment underneath of that as to say, wow, he's admitting it, right, before taking the chair. And now when he's the chairman, he won't say anything. And he could provide a lot of clarity and direction for the whole space to speak as plainly as he was before becoming the SEC chair. But when she said, wow, it really struck me because I said, when a reputable journalist is tweeting, wow, to what could possibly be one of the biggest financial scandals of our time, you know, they know it is too. And it really is. And I tell you when I say this, we need to focus. I've been tagging daily my Maryland state representatives that need to be a part of this solving and resolving this problem with the lack of consistency from the SEC, from ETHgate itself. You dig down into ETHgate and it certainly looks like the appearance of impropriety is very deep. So let's all remain vigilant. Don't give up yet. Don't see a heavy tweet and think, oh, I'm not going to retweet it and tag anybody. Tag them. Go to Connect to Congress with John Deaton. We got to stay strong because we are being heard. There was a time when Eleanor Terrett and Charles Gasparino were not a part of this conversation. And thankfully, DAI was able to bring them into it. So let's continue to do it and broaden the people that we're touching. But let's get caught up too, because James K. Filan has a lot for us to look at today. And you know what? We need to see every single part of it because it's very, very important. This is going to be the most updated schedule to date for the SEC versus Ripple. Let's take a look at it and shout out to James K. Filan. You are incredible, my friend. Looking right here, and actually let me go to this page because it's right here pulled up already. We see upcoming due dates. Deadline for exchange of expert rebuttal, November 12, 2021, December 6, 2021. Deadline for SEC to comply with most aspects of the court's October 21, 2021 order regarding 2 discovery disputes. Specifically, the order required the following. The SEC, in responding to Ripple's interrogatories, has to specifically identify any terms in any XRP sales contract that created an expectation of profits. There are approximately 1,500 contracts. Those answers are due by December 6, 2021. Just a little, a little less than a month away here, right, is what we're talking about. So that is exciting to me because we know as secondary XRP holders, we did not enter into an investment contract, as the SEC is absolutely trying to claim that we all did. And this should upset every one of us. Now, looking at the next point here, the SEC has to answer whether efforts by Ripple were necessary to affect any increase in the price of XRP. The answer is due also by December 6th. Looking here, the SEC has to respond to 776 requests for admission that relate to Ripple's fair notice defense. This is very important. But Judge Netburn gave the SEC until 30 days after Judge Torres rules on the SEC's motion to strike Ripple's fair notice defense to provide those responses. If the SEC's motion to strike is granted, the SEC won't have to answer those requests for admission. That is an important moment about the fair notice defense. The SEC has to respond to 309 requests for admission relating to the defendant's defense under Morris, and it cites the rule of law there, that XRP sales occurred offshore. Those responses are due by December 6 as well. The SEC has to answer whether the XRP ledger was fully functional when the XRP distribution started in 2013, but there first needs to be a meet and confer between counsel for Chris Larson and the SEC to clarify the term fully functional. This is absolutely pivotal moment here as well. Regardless of what the SEC thinks, because they've taken this, it's not fully functional, which we know that the XRP ledger is absolutely fully functional and decentralized. Here's the deal. This puts the SEC in a corner to have to determine and explain legally what does fully functional mean. And then they have to make the case that XRP was not, right? The SEC answered numerous interrogatories by incorporating by reference its answers to other interrogatories. They can't do it that way. The federal court civil procedure as cited states that each interrogatory must, to the extent that it is not objected to, be answered separately and fully under oath. Judge Netburn ordered the SEC to go back and then clean up the answers in which it is referenced an answer in a previous interrogatory. Instead, answer it separately as required. January 14th is the deadline for expert discovery, but there's more. We don't know if the following has been completed from previous discovery decisions. 1, Ripple was ordered to produce relevant Slack messages involving 22 custodians. Ripple stated that it could take as long as 12 weeks to complete, so we do not know whether that has been completed or still ongoing. While Ripple's motion to compel turnover or pre-clearing trading decisions was denied, the SEC was directed to provide defendants any documentation supporting SEC counsel's statement during the August 25th 2021 meet and confer that after the formal order of investigation of Ripple was issued on March 9th, 2019, SEC employees could no longer trade XRP. Remember that moment? There is no indication whether that has been done, but in absence of any follow-up motion on this issue, it is reasonable to assume it has been done. Take a look at this. We are waiting for decisions regarding the following. Ripple defendants pending motion to compel the SEC to produce certain documents it designated as privileged, including the 3 extra documents the SEC was ordered to submit. They did not want to put those documents in, if you remember that. And it says here, SEC was ordered to submit Judge Netburn for in-camera review. While the SEC was ordered to submit those documents to Judge Netburn for in-camera review, no decision whether they must be turned over to Ripple has been issued. Imagine us getting to see those documents. The SEC's motion for a telephone conference in order compelling Ripple to search and produce video, audio tape recordings and internal Ripple meetings where Brad Garlinghouse, Chris Larson, and other key Ripple employees spoke on topics relevant to disputes in lawsuit. The SEC's motion to strike the lack of due process and fair notice affirmative defense. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very, very big deal here. If the SEC loses the ability to strike or loses the argument to strike the fair notice defense from Ripple, the SEC loses a lot of jurisdictional ground that they have been trying to get from the jump from this lawsuit alone of all of crypto. Because the other prior projects see Ripple win in this defense, and that'll be the exact defense that they take. And they will win it too, because legal precedent will be set. You know, this means to me, it really speaks to this moment. Look, there's a moment here where the Hogan legal team really clear this up for us. And I want you to listen very carefully to a moment in here. It's just a few seconds of a comment from Tinview Hogan, who is going to tell you what the normal procedure that these practicing lawyers for years have experienced when it comes to ruling on motions. Listen to this.
But also reading between the lines, we can also see that this court moves at its own pace, no matter what a party like Ripple may want. For example, in most courts that I'm in, motions to strike affirmative defenses or to dismiss complaints are dealt with right away. They're
dealt with right away. But that hasn't happened here. Very peculiar. Now, she goes on to say that it just may be the way this court is going to do it. And that's great. And that's the way they operate. And however they want to do it is how the court and those judges are going to do it. But I find it compelling that someone of her experience and Jeremy's experience here, and I do assume that she's speaking for both of them, they see these things ruled on right away. Why is that? Because it is I believe it is, if Ripple gets that favor to be able to, or that decision to rule with the fair notice defense, this case is over. And I'm not a lawyer. All right, I'm 12 years short of a law degree. But the reality is, I feel like that's why this has been pushed off so far. And maybe it also leans into the notion that they are in negotiations for some sort of settlement. And if they can put that motion ruling to the end of this, maybe there can be a settlement before having to deal and rule on those motions. Continue to listen for the next few seconds.
The parties know what the pleadings are going into discovery.
Exactly.
This court still hasn't even dealt with these motions, and that seems to be the way it's going to do it, slowly and at its own pace. And what does that mean? It means that absent a settlement, this case will not be decided now until March 2022 at the earliest, and possibly not even until late spring of 2022 if the court decides not to rule on some of the pending motions until after the discovery deadline, which looks really possible.
And there you have it. And shout out to the Hogan legal team for that. So really, what we're talking about here is we're not going to hear a ruling on that particular motion until after expert discovery is done, which we already understand is January 14th, right? So all of this has to be in. That deadline happens, and maybe you get a ruling on that particular motion. So at this point, there's no further telephone conferences that have been scheduled to discuss outstanding discovery disputes. The deadline for the party to exchange their respective statements, material facts pursuant to the rule of court, and their pre-motion letters regarding motions for summary judgment was adjourned. And we see here pending resolution of motions to dismiss and strike. So while it may be quiet in terms of motions being filed on the public docket, the parties have a lot of things to work on behind the scenes. Again, shout out to James K. Filan, shout out to Hogan Legal Team for all of their insights and perspectives here. Now let's take a look at price while we let all of this stuff do what it needs to do, because, absent a judgment, we're going into next year. Absent a settlement, I mean. So if we get a settlement, that could be any day, right? But I tell you this, I'm excited because the price has been moving, right? Up 15+% on the 7-day, right? That's exciting to me. And knowing that we have this case on our shoulders, I'm not sure another project could be able to move and do the things it's doing separately of Ripple, the company that's being sued. And that is exciting to show the strength of XRP and what it's able to do. Let's take a look at what Dark Defender says here. He says, we had a nice weekend, haven't we? XRP should try to maintain above 122. You can find the short-term up target for TA below. And what we're looking for in resistance is 153, 177, and $2.20. XRP is heading to $20, Dark Defender says. And our supports now, which are at 122 and 113 should we roll over some. Pretty exciting stuff to see what's going on here. And I tell you, I'm very glad to get an update on this case. We are in November right now, and it won't be long. The end of the year will be here. And when it is, maybe, just maybe, we're getting closer to an actual settlement or a summary judgment. That's going to do it for me. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, leave a comment below, share with somebody you know, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Lots going on, even if we're not privy to it. Head on a swivel out here. It's crypto. You never know. Check out all the links in the description box and comment section. They're great products and services I use each and every day, and they are trusted, vetted links. You want to get Unstoppable Domains? I got a link for you. You want to get Ledger Nano? I got a link. They all got specials hooked to them. Make sure you click on them. I Trust Capital, the best crypto IRA on the planet. The only thing better buying crypto is buying tax-free crypto. All of this stuff is because I use it, and I know that people out here ask me about it too. You got a safe link to click on. I'll catch all of you on the next one.